This is KUGAN CASSIUS for IFL TV in association with MTK Global. It's very romantically lit in here, actually. I'm joined by Tommy Coyle here in Boston.
Yep.
How are you, mate?
Very well, mate. And yourself?
Do you know what? I was realising today as you were talking in the press conference that it's been a while since actually we've done a proper interview.
Yeah, we've not done one for a while, have we?
For a while, so it's no secret that you were going to be fighting in America, and you've kind of
I'm
been talking about it for a long time.
Yeah, but I think it's just any young kid, any young fighter, it's their dream to come to what many people look at as the boxing capital, the mecca of boxing. So, to be fighting on such a big show with a big network like DAZN and Matchroom Boxing USA, I'm thrilled. I'm dead happy. I really, really contemplated on retiring after the Mashadod fight, and there was a few conversations. What was tough with the missus, and just I didn't want to, because of the way I fight, Cougar. I don't ever want to compromise my health. Okay, I want to keep all my faculties intact. I want to get out of the game, and try and stay relatively sharp, because I've got plenty going on back home with the businesses and working a lot of schools, and you can't sell a dream looking like a nightmare. So I wanted to get out fairly sharp. Don't want to be slurring my words. I've still got to be a dad at the end of the day. That's the most important thing. And another thing I was only saying to Jamie the other day, that my kids need me now. They're at that age where our Archie's 3 years of age, and I'm no longer the most important person in the world. Fighters are very selfish. I'm very selfish. But it's not about me anymore. It's about my young boy Archie and Arthur, and I need to be there for them. I need to be taking them to football training and stuff like that, as opposed to maybe being in the gym. Do you know what I mean? So there ain't long left. There's probably 3 fights left. But to finally get over here in America and have that big fight and tick it off your bucket list, if you like, I'm absolutely buzzing. I'm in a real good place.
Yeah, I mean, 28 fights you've had?
28.
28 fights, and I think you're right. The style of fighter you can't do that forever.
No.
And I think that was quite apparent after not many fights, that we kind of, from a neutral perspective, and we're watching Tommy Coyle, and it's like sitting on the edge of your seat and, oh my God, yeah, Tommy Cole's going to be in a war. It's all very well us saying that, but for yourself and for your health, you can't
have a think of the way of putting this across. You can't have a smart car and rev it day in day out, because it's going to put a lot of miles on the clock, and fighting the way I do does put miles on the clock. But having said that, my last performance against Mashadod, I boxed cute, I boxed smart, and I didn't put any miles on the clock, and I felt really good. The training camp I had and the build up to that fight was fantastic. Having people like Cal Frampton, Martin Murray, Rocky Fielder, who's boxing Canelo, Stephen Ward, Jack Carroll, Jamie, Nigel. The gym was just buzzing, and part of me as well, the reason why, maybe another reason I didn't want to retire, is I love going in the gym with all the lads. It's like my hobby. It's like my release from work back home. I love being in the gym and having the crack with them, having the banter, and I didn't want that part of my life to go away. So there's a few reasons why I decided to carry on, but the main reason was that it was probably a career best performance in a Mashadod fight, and I just really wanted to build on it. And I just thought, you know what, fuck it. Let's just go for broke. Let's see how far I can get. And, to come over here and fight in America's, it's up there, do you know what I mean? I know I'm not a world champion or out like that, but this is like my world title fight, do you know what I mean? I've been in New York for a week, on Broadway. I've had a backstage pass to see Canelo and Rocky Field, and living the fucking dream, do you know what I mean? Just absolutely buzzing every day. So, yeah, I'm happy.
I mean, there's been so many notable moments over the years with your career? I know people always bang on about the Brizuela fight, which I was at, and also the CASSIUS win and etc. But what would you say has been kind of the most difficult thing to deal with, kind of physically and emotionally for you?
Losing to Luke Campbell was hard. I'm not gonna lie, it was really, really hard. Physically it was a tough fight, but pain goes away. It's temporary, innit? It lasts an hour, a week, a month, whatever. But that mental reminder was a bastard. I was in a bad place for quite a while. I remember, I was embarrassed to go out. I had a couple of scrapes on the street as well about it, because when I was going out and that, people, Hull's a real small place, you see. So, like, if I was in Manchester or something, me and Luke could maybe just be one of 50 boxers, do you know what I mean? Or we've only got a rugby team and a football team, and then there's me and Luke, and without sounding brash or big-headed, that's kind of it, do you know what I mean? So when I was going out, after the fight, after he knocked me out, I felt like people was looking at me and laughing at me, and I was paranoid, and I was just in a bad place. Like, you can't remember, it's a very small population, 10% of the population was probably at that fight, and we was both from the same city. He was from the west side, I was from the east side, and you know what, he beat me fair and square, he beat me in every department, and I just, one of the main things what got me was I wasn't my best self in the ring that night, because I didn't ever believed in myself. I felt like every fight I'd had up until that point, right from the John Simpson fight winning the IBF, the Daniel Brizuela, the Martin Geffin, the Michael Katsidis, I felt like every fight that I had was, there was like a carrot being dangled in front of me. You win this fight, you'll fight Luke Campbell. You win this fight, oh no, you know what, just one more, let's build it up a bit more. So when I finally beat Martin Geffin, and I only just beat him as well by the skin of my teeth, he put me down in the second round, Martin Geffin. I don't know how I managed to get up, and I managed to stop him, but it was just like a sigh of relief, because I was finally going to live that dream of fighting in front of 10, 15,000 people in my hometown, the big stadium fight. I was going to meet Michael Buffer. There was loads of bonuses to it. I was going to earn a good few quid that I could buy my first house and stuff like that. So I felt like I'd won before I'd even got in the ring. And when I look back, like, I put him on this pedestal. I made him, in my head, he was unbeatable. He was a gold medal. He was the bollocks, basically. But he won because Mendy went and proved that theory wrong in the next fight. He was beatable. And my style certainly, I believe could have beaten Luke on that night, because there was a lot of pressure on him. It was his first real big step up. The timing was perfect, but I just didn't turn up that night. The occasion got to me. The pressure got to me, and I didn't turn up. I didn't fail in a sense. I embarrassed myself, because every time he did put me down, I'll always try and get up. I've said it before, if I can look up, I'll always get up. And I managed to go as far as I could. He still didn't even stop me. The ref had to stop me. So that's the bit of pride I take away from that fight. But it was tough afterwards. It was really, really hard. And I contemplated retiring, because I just thought, you know what, maybe I'm just tough and rough and not actually very good. And I was always quite smart. I didn't want to end up a cabbage. But then I got back training. I thought, I'm in the schools, I'm promoting this HSP strategy, hard work, kids, sacrifice, perseverance. I've got to practice what I preach here. I've got to persevere. I was only 26 at the time. And
did you go into depression after that fight?
I don't think it was depression, but I wasn't myself at all. Like, like my boy Archie had just been born, and I remember the day of the press conference. My boy had been 3 hours old, and I had to leave my missus, my newborn child Archie, in the hospital to go to a press conference. Like, looking back, that was the most magical time of my life. Do you know what I mean? My kids are my world, and after the fight, I didn't want to be in the house. I just kind of, I wanted to be doing other stuff that would make me forget about what happened. So I was out, I went out with the lads. I cleared off on a few holidays and stuff. And my missus back home, I had, my son, my child, and I was just, I was not nowhere to be seen. I was around. I wasn't, fooling around, but I was just vacant, vacant, and it was just hard to deal with. Yeah, it was very, very hard to deal with. But I remember getting back in the gym and thinking, right, I'm gonna go again. And then I had a bad injury. I took the humerus off my ligament off my humerus, and I had to have surgery. And I'd done about 20 grand in on this because I never had insurance. I'd done about 20,000 quid in on this this elbow operation, and I just thought, do you know what? It's gone from bad to worse here. I've finally picked myself up and got myself back in the gym. I had a fight scheduled. I can't remember who it was with, and then I tore the ligament off my humerus. So it just went from bad to worse. But I'm very, very strong-willed. Like, my biggest asset is my mentality. I'm unbelievably stubborn, very strong-willed, and I don't like failure. And I've read lots of books and listened to lots of podcasts, and I've got a dad who will always remind me every single day. The only thing you get for staying in bed is bed sores. Get up and get at it. And he was in my ear. He was reminding me. I'd not fulfilled my potential. So I carried on, and you know what? I'm so glad I did. And I put a string of wins together. Got the fight with Tyrone Nurse. Just fell short. I thought I'd nicked it, but didn't get the decision. And again, I was at that point in my career where it was like, maybe I am always just gonna fall short, and I just kept saying to myself, persevere. In fact, I read something what stuck in my mind, and it said, at the point of quitting, that's the point when you should have kept going, because that's the point when you're about to do it, basically, make it. And I'm not saying I've made it, no, I'm just saying that I carried on persevering and refusing to lose and overcoming adversity time and time again. I got my shot at the Commonwealth title, and that was like my little world title. That was me big fight, what not defined me, but I could put on the mantelpiece at home in my little cabinet and be proud of. And when my kids are older, they can say, oh, what's that belt, Daddy? What's that belt? And I can tell them. And all I'm in this game for now is to make some memories, make a few more additions to the scrapbook, and give me kids something to be proud of, and hopefully as well help the brand what I've created in Hull, the Box Clever brand under the Tommy Coyle Foundation. Just make kids realise that if you've got a dream and you're willing to work hard, make sacrifices, and persevere like I did, then success eventually is inevitable. It might 9 times out of 10 it ain't gonna come first time round. You've got to be willing to fail a few times and take a few knocks and get a bit of scar tissue. And but if you continue to pursue your dream, I'm almost proof that eventually it's gonna pay off. And yeah, I'm not a world champion, but my little Commonwealth titles, my little badge of pride. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know, like, ever since I've been interviewing you, I think one of the most refreshing things that has remained consistent with you is that you've always kind of been very honest, sometimes overcritical of yourself, and realistic in terms of what you can achieve, where you are in your career, but you've always kind of just said it exactly, as far as I know or can remember, you've always just said it exactly how it is.
100%. Because I know that when it's all over and I have to come back down to reality, if not that my life's too much different from reality, but when it's all finished and it all goes away, I'm gonna be okay. I'm cool with it. If nobody don't stop me in the street for a photo, or you know, the phone don't ring, can you do an interview, or can you come and open this shop, or can you sign this glove, or can you donate this for charity, I'm gonna be okay with it. I'm gonna be fine because I've kept my feet very firm on the ground. And also, I like to think I've been fairly smart. I've set stuff up that's gonna keep me busy. When I finish boxing, I've got over 50 carded kids in both my gyms, which are crying out for me to go in there and share my knowledge and my experiences and my work ethic with them. So I'm always going to be involved in the game. I'm always going to love the game because it's given me such a great life. It's opened up so many doors for me. I mean, what's that in fucking America right now? Do you know what I mean? It's opened so many doors for me.
I had a little, not a disagreement, I suppose, when I was talking to someone yesterday about Rocky Fielding, and they said to me that, you know, Rocky Fielding's kind of, the way Rocky Fielding's going on at the moment is like he's a bit starstruck by the whole situation. And I had to kind of disagree in the way they were saying it, because Rocky Fielding hasn't had the career Canelo's had. So regardless of whatever way you look at it, he hasn't had that career Canelo's pound for pound top,
best in the world.
Yeah. I would say top 2 or 3 in the world, let's just say for argument's sake. From where Rocky Fielding started off and where Rocky Fielding was
Prize
3
fighter.
years ago, prize fighter, the defeat to Callum, etc., etc. From that position to where he is now, you know, he's taking it all in. So, you know, I'm listening to you talk about, you know, being backstage with Coyle. You're a professional fighter, but
do you know what? Right?
Yeah.
I'm not. He's coming up to the room in a minute, but I remember about 6 weeks before Carl Frampton comes to the gym, I goes up to him at it was Kell Brook's fight versus Errol Spence. Was it?
last May in Sheffield, that was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I goes up to him and I'm sat with my girlfriend Holly, my fiance. I says, Carl Frampton there, Hull. I says, love the jackal, me. I says, should I go and ask him for a picture? She says, yeah, of course. She's, you know, she's on about my scrapbook and that, so I can show the kids. I was like, oh yeah, fuck it, I'll go and ask him. So I goes up to him and I says, excuse me, Cassie, do you mind if I have a selfie with you? He went, yeah, of course, Tommy, fair fucks to you, you know, a good fighter, I watch you and all this, that and the other. And I was buzzing that he knew my name. And like, I went back to her and says, he knows my name. Like, and then he comes in the gym 3 weeks later and it's like I'm training with him now and I have the crack with him and he's a top kid. Like, I think the second day he come to the gym, I fire extinguished him. He's doing an interview like this and I went behind him and set the fire extinguisher off.
How times have changed.
Yeah. So, but like, yeah, Rocky will be in awe of everything. And too right, so he should
why
be.
not?
Canelo's a legend,
Yeah.
but make no mistake about it, I don't care if somebody offered me a chance to fight to Anthony Joshua and that bell ring, that switch flicks. It don't matter who they are.
Yeah.
It's a fight. It's man against man. It's 2 arms, 2 legs, and all the fame, fortune, razzmatazz, who he is, what his name is. He's forgotten about it. It's about trying to beat that man in front of you. And I think on the night, have you seen the size difference, by the way? It's a big size difference. And listen, you know, I'm not saying Rocky's going to go in there and win, you know, every single round. It's going to be tough for Rocky. But one thing I do know is that he can punch. And he throws his shots very unorthodox. And if, you know, the risk of Canelo overlooking him and makes a mistake and walks onto something, it'll be interesting.
I think, like I said, it was a shock. I mean, let's not kind of beat around the bush when it was announced. And I'm sure it was a shock to Rocky himself when he got the initial phone call. Yeah. So we know what that situation is. But, you know, one thing I was talking to yesterday was, listen, he might be, having a few pictures in New York and the New York Stock Exchange, but when it comes down to it, and they're in camp
He's
with
gonna wanna
Jamie
kill
and Nigel, they're gonna do everything they can to make sure that Rocky is in the best position possible to win that fight.
If he don't, he's gonna get hurt. So it's in his best interest to put every single thing. And I know Rocky is bang up for this fight. He's extremely looking forward to it. And I think he's quietly confident as well. He knows he's in there as an underdog, and he knows it's a big ask. But he's got some momentum. They writ him off going over to Germany, and he went over there and upset the odds. I'm excited for it, and again, I'm gonna go over to America and watch him fight. December 15th. I'm gonna be at Carl's fight. I'm going to all these big fights now, and I can say, you know what? I've had the pleasure of training with them and stuff, and when I go back to my gym and there's all these young kids, and I can say to them, I used to think I was a weirdo. Yeah, I used to have all these thoughts because I used to train in Manchester and I'd drive home in the car. Amount of times I've got my laptop there. I think I found something on there what I'd wrote how I was feeling at this time one time, and I'd pulled over in a lay-by, and all these top world-class fighters, they all have the same thoughts. When you've had a bad spar, or you're a bit heavier than you thought you were supposed to be in camp, or you've picked up a niggle or an injury, something like that. I'm thinking it's like Anthony Joshua, in his last camp. He had a terrible camp. He was poorly before the fight, but he still went through with the fight because that was his job. He didn't want to let the fans down. He had all these dates pre-booked, and it was his job to be a professional. And I used to think I was a weirdo thinking all these things, but you know what? Every single one of them fighters think the same things. But I didn't notice because I always trained on my own. So having this stable of all these top fighters has just made me a very happy and a better fighter as well. Carl Frampton said something to me. He says, "You know what, Tom?" He says, "You can box like fuck, you know." I went, "What?" He says, "Yeah." He says, "You can box like fuck." He says, "You got a great jab." And no one's really said that to me. All the people what praise you are usually fans and say, "Oh, warrior." But what that's doing is that's training your subconscious and making you want to perform like a warrior and do the things what warriors do. But when Carl said to me, "Oh, you got a great jab," I thought, "No, that's a world champion telling me I've got a great jab. I want to start to use my jab a little bit more. I'm gonna, do some of the things that I see me do in sparring." So, yeah, I'm living the dream, buzzing, happy, here in friggin'. I used to stay in the Abyss. Yeah, I'm staying in the friggin' Marriott. I am buzzing.
Talk to me about your relationship with Jamie and Nigel, because we kind of have an inkling of how things are. We see stuff and exactly, but to me it looks like those two are so important to you and your career.
Start with Nigel Travis. Nigel Travis he's a good man, a proper good man, and if you was going to war and you wanted to choose someone in your trenches, you'd choose him every day of the week, because he's in the game for the right reasons. There is no financial reward that he's not bothered about, a pat on the back. He's a real good man, and I love him to absolute death. He's, like last night, he'd bring the scales up. He's not like, "Come get the scales yourself." He wipes your backside for you. He'll pick you up from the train station. He'll always go the extra mile for you, he'll put the Vaseline on you, and just the way he puts the Vaseline on you, it's like he's putting it on his son, do you know what I mean? Just how can I put it? He proper cares, and I love him so much. Jamie's hard on me, I think, compared to all the other fighters. He's different with me, definitely. Not like I get more treatment or anything like that. It just it tells me straight, I think. And I think it's because maybe I was his first fighter, but that man, he just made me a better boxer. He's made me a better person. I'll never forget the time he sat me down, and I was, I just fought John Simpson. I got the IBF title. You'd have thought I'd beat Canelo. I felt like I was King Kong. Do you know what I mean? And got a great missus. I have some missus, like a beautiful woman, love her to death. But like I'm being a dick, aren't I? Just like being a dick, just running around, going out with the boys, doing whatever I want. And I remember him sitting me down and he said, you know what? He said, you know the people you've got around you right now? He sat me down the edge of the ring. He says, they'll all still be there when you, when you stop boxing. He's like, but my dad, him, my missus Holly, my mum, my brothers, and all the rest of it. He said, and all these people, he says, you're trying to impress. He says, in the nightclubs and all the rest of it, he says, they won't be there when you don't box anymore. And like, he said, I never forget to him because Jamie used this word, he went, stop being a dick. And I looked at him and I'm like, oh, like, I said, do you think I'm a dick? And he went, yeah. He said, I think you're being a dick. And because I respected him so much, and like even to this day, I've never answered him back once. I've never answered Jamie Moore back ever in my life. And I proper hold him in high regard and I have real high respect for him. And since that day, I just started being a bit different. He reined me in a little bit. Do you know what I mean? I think after winning that fight, I probably could have gone on and maybe could have gone away with the, what's the word? Like, get your head in the clouds sort of thing, and get a bit above your stations. But Jamie's a real realist. Like he's kept my feet well on the ground. He's a good person. He's got good principles, good values. He's a good husband. He's a great father. And I want to be like him when I'm older. I want my missus to respect me like Colleen respects Jamie. I want my kids to look at me the way his kids look at him. He's more than just a boxing coach to me, Jamie. But I've got to give another lad a mention in my team, and you probably see him a lot on my social media and stuff, and that's Billy Dawson. This young kid, and Jamie don't have idiots around the gym. He don't, and Jamie wouldn't have any idiots around me. Jamie's a smart guy, and Jamie really likes Billy Dawson. He's told me, and Billy's. I don't like being on my own, Cook. Like driving me. My missus gets his, and I can't wait. And it's glad because normally I'd have Billy laying in that bed with me. I don't like laying on my own. I don't like sleeping on my own. I'm scared of the dark. I fucking hate being on my own. It's horrible. Being dead's for being on your own. You're on your own when you're dead. I'm living right now. I don't want to be on my own. So, me and Jamie used to have back and forth rows about me staying in Manchester. Because he wanted me to stay in Manchester Monday to Friday. But like I'd be sneaking home in the middle of the week and stuff because I wanted to go home to my wife and kids. And Billy Dawson, who's one of my mates all my life, he's been around my boxing career from the amateur days. He runs the amateurs at my gym. And he's a smart kid. He's a proper student of the game. He had about 5-6 fights as a pro, won them all. But he started to get a funny vision in his eye, so he stopped and he got into training. And he's been really helping me out with camp, my training. So I've only been having to go through to Manchester 3 times a week. The other 2 times I've been staying in all the drills and the skills Jamie's been giving me to work on. I've been working on them with Billy. Billy's been coming over to Manchester and driving for me, and he's been a great asset to the camp. And it's only right that I give him that mention there because he's a good man and I love him to death.
Your opponent obviously changed over the last few weeks from Danny Connor.
Yeah, to Ryan Kowalski.
I think we'll roll with that.
Yeah, it's a tough name.
We'll roll with that. Yeah.
I hope you're all there because you couldn't pronounce it.
I thought we spoke well at the press conference today.
He seemed like a nice guy.
Yeah. So this is your American debut. So
American debut. I'm here to take this kid out. I'm not here. People might look at my social media and think, "Oh, he's having the buzz, he's having the fun with whipping Frank Smith's kegs down this morning, Rockies the other day." We're just having fun. But make no mistake about it. When we're in that gym, we're on it, we're switched on, and I've been on it for 12 weeks, and when I get in that ring on Saturday night, I'll be on it again, and I'll be giving the best account of myself. You know, I said it earlier, I'm not here to make any numbers up at all. I'm here to make a mark, and, you know, just make the last few chapters of this career the best possible.
It seems like Eddie Hearn's kind of stuck with you as well.
Good man, Eddie.
If that, not, you know what I mean by stuck with you. I mean,
Yeah,
you've had your ups and downs with Eddie Hearn.
Yeah,
and he seems like he's always kind of
good,
been there from his side.
He's a good bloke. You know, listen, he gets some stick and gets some slaver on social media and that, but I'll openly say he's a good bloke. He's always been fair with me. He's always looked after me. He's brought me back after defeats and give me another chance. You know, and I've had offers from, you know, other promoters to fight on their shows and stuff, and I've got email trails what I'll say, you know what, I can't do that because Eddie gave me my initial start in prize fight, and then in with Derry. He's brought me back after defeats. He's always paid me. He's always looked after me. He's, you know, if I've ever wanted to go to any other boxing shows of fans that, like, of fighters that I follow, that I'm a fan of, he's always looked after me with good tickets. So, you know, I don't jump ships. I'm not a fucking pirate. I don't jump ships. I go down with the ship. And I'll stay with Eddie right till the end now, I believe. I really will. He's brought me over here. He's given me a great platform. He's ticked off some on my bucket list. He's a good bloke. I like him.
Many people watching this video won't share your sentiment.
No, they won't. But do you know
but
what?
Do you know what?
There'll be so many people watching this video what think, fucking hell, Tommy, you're a prick.
People think I'm a prick. People think you're a prick.
But
people think, to be honest with you, there's not one boxer that kind of is out there that has kind of 100% like rate.
Each to their own.
Each to their own.
But do you know what I will say? I will say this. Take people as you find them, because I had a guy who sponsored me the other day, Vuber actually, and he said to me, my brother-in-law used to think you're a prick. I went, oh really? I says, what's his name? And I didn't even know this guy, by the way. I think I forgot his name again, or I'd have said it. He said to me, my brother-in-law used to think he was a prick. He said, then he went to a dinner speech what I was doing, and he said, he completely changed his opinion of you. I said, can I just ask you, I said, had he ever met me up until that point? And he said, no. And people look at your social media, or they look at, you know, your ability in the ring, and they form, you know, this opinion on you. But you know what, until you've actually met somebody and had 5 minutes with them, 10 minutes with them, you know, don't make any judgments. Take somebody as you find them, and that's what I do. And I've always found Eddie bang on. Some people might think he's wanky, but he once come to my dad's fruit stall because we had a bet. He was there when we said, I bet you couldn't sell 5 punches of strawberries.
I filmed the fucking thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And he'd come, and like, he didn't have to do that. My dad loved that. My dad talks about that now, do you know what I mean? And when Eddie come to the stall, Tom, and he sold them strawberries, he didn't have to do that. He'd done that for the crack. He's a good bloke. He's sound with me.
No, yeah, I actually reposted that not that long ago, like about 2 months ago. I reposted.
He can fucking sell. He's some salesman, him.
He's some salesman, yeah. All right, well listen, you got the weigh-in tomorrow, and it's nearly 7 o'clock, so I'm gonna let you crack on with your night.
Thank you.
Appreciate giving us quite a lot of your time. Actually,
can I just say one last thing?
You can say what you want.
Just to all the fans that have watched me over the years, thank you for supporting me. Even to those ones that might watching that have doubted me, you've always put fire in my belly as well. But on a serious note, thank you. I've had some journey, a real good journey. I've made some memories for life, and I genuinely love fighting, and I will always give you 110%. So yeah, just wanted to say thank you to you all.
No worries.
Top man, cheers, Coke.
Tommy Cole, thank you very much for talking to IFL TV. Best of luck tomorrow.
Saturday.
The weigh-in, and then Saturday, showtime.
Sure is, mate. Cheers, pal.
Thank you.